Hello and welcome. Today we're going to make two pasta salads, one easy, one super easy. We'll also go over some of the things that make for a good pasta for a pasta salad, as well as some other ingredients that, besides the one that we're going to use, that also go really, really well in a pasta salad. One of our pasta salads is a vinegar and oil based Italian dressing, and the second one is a mayonnaise based. So you'll get a creamy pasta salad as well as a Italian dressing style pasta salad. All right. Let's make our creamy pasta salad first. That is the not really difficult, but more difficult of the two. And one of the things I want to point out here real quick before we jump in there is that I made some crispy pepperoni to top it with for the picture, which actually turned out to be really good. And I also put a little bit of cayenne pepper and red chili flake on top. And that one turned out really good. So I would say you might want to try those. I'll show you how to make the crispy pepperoni real quick, and then we'll jump right into the ingredients for the pasta salad itself. For our crispy pepperoni, what we want to do is just take it and put it on a paper towel lined plate, and then put it in the microwave for about 30 to 45 seconds, depending on what the power of your microwave is. So I would start at 30 and then just add 15 until it gets crispy, like it looks in this picture. And once it reaches that point, you're done. That's all you needed to do. And then you can just crumble it up after it cools off, and it will actually be an excellent topping for quite a few things, actually. And the chips themselves are actually really good as well. All right, let's get to the ingredients for the first one. And for our ingredients, we have one packaged pasta, cooked and cooled, preferably to al dente, half a cup of mayonnaise, a teaspoon of relish, one can tuna with the water drained, 1 teaspoon Italian seasoning. I'll show you how to make that if you don't have that. 1 teaspoon garlic minced, 1 teaspoon each of salt and pepper, 1 teaspoon minced onion, 1 teaspoon dill, and 1.5 teaspoons celery flakes, since I was unable to get fresh celery. Alright, let's put our creamy pasta salad together, starting with the mayonnaise. Now on the mayonnaise, I'm just using the regular generic mayonnaise here, but if you have like an olive oil based mayonnaise or something like that, those will work pretty well, and it'll make it taste a little bit better. Not too much, but a little bit. For the relish, I'm only going with about a teaspoon here because I didn't want it too sweet. You might add some if you do. And the tuna, I should have broken the tuna up. It needed to get broken up just a tiny bit more so that it wouldn't have clumped together, because there was a couple spots where it was clumping. And also, when you're doing your dried seasonings on it, kind of spread them out a little bit. I didn't do that this time, and usually it won't mess with me, but in this time, it did, and there was a little tiny pocket of Italian seasoning. It wasn't terrible, but it did throw me off for a moment, because it was like, oh, wait, that's an Italian seasoning. Now, the way I'm mixing this together is basically I'm taking my fingers underneath, and I'm pushing it into the center, and then up, and using my thumbs to sort of spin it, as you can see here. The reason I did this is it allows you to get all the pasta salad coated, but also to not damage the pasta. So, there was my tuna I was talking about. So that allows you to not damage the pasta while getting it nice and thoroughly mixed. I should have mixed it for probably about another minute or so, and that would have gotten a little bit better on the mix, but this was fine. Alright, and with that, our creamy pasta salad is done. Now, let's take a look at the types of pasta you'd want to use and some extra ingredients that you might want to add to your pasta salad, and then we'll make the other one, since it's super easy. It's literally easier than the last one, and that thing was super easy. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to look at two charts here, and you're going to see what pastas are good and what pastas aren't good for this type of dish. And in this case, all the red ones, definitely not good, or at least marginally good, and all the blue ones are very good. Now, what you're going to notice on both charts is that anything with curves or pockets or anything that you can imagine would hold on to a sauce or give it a place to cling, or your other ingredients a place to pack on. Since you don't want everything falling off, you wouldn't want to use things like rigatoni or penne. Even the shells are kind of pushing it just a little bit, but as long as it has a place for the pocket, a nook and cranny, a pocket, somewhere that the sauce and the other ingredients can gain purchase and hold on to it, then that makes it really good. Others, like gnocchi, which is just a dumpling, so it doesn't have anything to hold on to really except for the ridges, pipe rigate, any of these things that don't have a good outside to cling on to, just pretty much don't work very well. Alright, let's look at a couple of the common ingredients that you might switch out or add to yours. The ones I have listed here aren't even the end of it. You could do beans, cannellini, garbanzos, chickpeas, lima beans, butter beans. Those would all be very good. You might be able to throw some grains in there, like if you had quinoa, you could possibly put it in there. Essentially, you can pretty much toss anything in there that goes well with tartness and cold. Alright, and on the spice front, Italian seasoning, which I said I would let you know what's in it, typically is a combination of seasonings in about these ratios. 1 teaspoon of basil leaf, 1 teaspoon oregano, 1 teaspoon parsley, a half teaspoon of thyme, and a half a teaspoon of sage. Majoram is also sometimes included, and if you would like to, I would probably only go with about a quarter to a half a teaspoon of that. Now, in addition to the Italian seasoning that we used here, other things that you could add, things like turmeric, poppy seeds, onion powder if you want that sort of industrial food taste. Ground mustard is really good. I like that myself. White pepper, because you can make everything look really nice. There's pretty much the sky's the limit. You just have to kind of think, okay, if it's going to taste good around this other stuff, then it'll work. All right, let's get to our final pasta salad. So this one is super duper easy because it's really just mixing a couple of cans together. Now for pantry meals, that's a great thing. But again, I will say that if you can replace any or all of these ingredients with fresh, you'll enjoy it much better. So let's look at the ingredients and then we'll put it together. For our Italian dressing based pasta salad, we will be going with 1 package cooked and cooled pasta, 1 2.25 ounce can of sliced olives, or about that same amount if you're slicing them yourselves, 1 can of garbanzo beans or chickpeas, depending on where you live, they're pretty much the same thing, 1 teaspoon Italian seasoning, 1 teaspoon each salt and pepper, and a half a cup of zesty Italian dressing. Alright, and for our Italian dressing based salad, we take our Italian dressing, obviously. I went with the zesty because I find it tastes a little bit better. Our Italian seasoning, salt and pepper, our garbanzo beans, and our black olives. Now, one thing you'll note here, I tried to do it the old toss the salad in the bowl with 2 spoons way. It actually ended up working a lot better and damaging the pasta less when I just went to the one thing. So, probably an easier way to go, or just use your hands like I did on the first one. This will, though, be a little bit on the dry side. That's my preference. You might want to add a little bit more Italian dressing to this when you're doing yours, because it's not really, like, very wet. I tend to like mine a little bit more on the dry side. Alright, and with that, we are done with our second pasta salad, the super easy one, which is just 4 ingredients from your pantry. These types of pasta salads are really good ways to take pantry items and just use them up in a creative way, because you can just kind of toss almost anything in this type of salad. The only things you have to watch out for are anything that don't make good cold salads. Like there are some ingredients that you're like, maybe not that one in cold salad. So, I thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something. If you did, give that a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I will be back very soon with another video. Thank you and enjoy your meal.